I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I want a way I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go. Don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many ones that are so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip, and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning.
What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode with me, TradeFly, on my channel here. So, hey, 2 days in a row, I sniped you guys. I'm sorry about that. There's not a lot of consistency right now in my schedule, but it's okay. We're going to do a market update. We're going to look at the charts. I think it's important regardless of what time I go live. You guys can always go back and take a look at it later or view the video later. All good in the hood. Got to build up those hours again too. Found out I lost my monetization. I was trying to set it up so you guys could join as members, have your emojis, have a good time, but we are gonna have to wait until I get the hours requirement. All good with the subs, just gotta get those hours flowing again. So we'll get it going so you guys can engage a little bit more in the chat and have fun with that. But hey, we got a market update. Bitcoin did have a little bit of a dump this morning, but there is some hopium that we could hold up. So we'll talk about that. And then kind of a key level, line in the sand, where I think Bitcoin may struggle to get above, or at least we want to see it reclaim that area before we see some continuation of upside. So that being said, let's go over the chat. Let's say what's up to my peeps, GM to those that did show for me. I really appreciate it. And of course, Alexandra G, you are an absolute legend. Thank you for being here. She is our mod queen. You know it. Heart, my dude, stay safe. Drive safe, my man. Thank you for stopping by. I'll give you a shout out, show you some love here so you can hear it on audio. My dude, thank you. Roman Brave, good morning to you. What's up? What's up? And my dude, the man of the hour, Alex O. Crypto. Let's go. JRMO, GMGM, what's up to you? What's up to you? Harp, yes. It is the rib chat, and I will get you your ribs. We just got to fill those hours, baby. So keep watching. Keep on keeping on with me, and we'll get those hours back, and then we'll get those ribs in the chat. You know it. All right. So with that being said, of course, I said the man of the hour, right? I said the man of the hour. Let's go ahead and wish my dude the happiest of birthdays, Alex O. Crypto. So, without further ado, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alex. Happy birthday to you, my dude. So, thank you for everything you do, man. Thanks for being a friend. Much love to you. Obviously, go support my homie. It's all love with that guy. All right. Here we go. Total market cap is currently sitting at 2.68 trillion. That is down 1.58% today over the last 24 hours. Man, you can hear the jets outside. I love it. God bless America. Freedom. Let's go. All right. So 24-hour trading volume is at 72.86 billion. Makes for a 3.89% decrease. Bitcoin dominance currently sitting at 60.64%. and that is a decrease of 0.03%. So again, 60 to 61% seems to be the happy place for Bitcoin dominance here recently. Fear and Greed Index is currently sitting at 25. Bitcoin price is currently sitting at 81,600-ish, we'll call it. That is down 2.32% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum is at 1883, still not looking good for you, 1.9% in the negative. XRP at $2.24. That's down 4.45%. And BNB is at 628. It's actually holding strong at 0.26%. Solana is down to 122, hitting a very key level there. Again, 121 is a key level for Solana, and that is down 3.55%. Doge at 16 cents, and that is down 4.85%. Cardano also down 4.8%, and that is at about 68 cents. There's a nice little level we're looking at Cardano, and we'll revisit that here when we get to the chart. So over to the crypto bubbles, you can see it's red AF out there. Heck, still getting pummeled. Again, not too surprised by that. And there goes the Jets again, man. They're having fun. Let's go. PI, that is down 11.5%. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they are flying low. All right, Bear is down 11.1%, BNX is down 6.4%, and everything else seems to be kind of sub 5%, 2 to 3%. And then for your movers in the positive side, Cake is still moving in the positive direction, 3.4%. DXE, or DEXE, DEXE, I guess, is what they're calling it. That is down 3.5%. TON is down up 2.8%. Some makers up 2.5%. So things that are moving in a positive direction, it's not much. All right, so let's just call that what it is instead of going through all of them. But you can see most things are moving kind of in correlation with Bitcoin right now. And let's go over to the liquidation. So again, remember I said about 200 million is kind of that, I'll say normal area that you see liquidations over 24 hours, and that's where we're sitting right now. So not going to beat that up too much, but it is time. We're going to go ahead and get into our first segment. And you guys know what that is going to be. It's the Daily DGen, where you, the audience, have the opportunity to vote long or short. And I got a surprise for you. Boom. Let's go. So I held on to this trade yesterday. All right. So we looked at it. We took a quick glance at the chart, and it was one of the ones I had picked for a short. And I was just looking kind of at the price action. It was bending over a little bit. And I was like, hey, you know what? There's opportunity there. So we picked Flow. So we shorted Flow. Holy moly. They must be having an air show or something going on right now. So Flow is actually down today. And we pulled a 59% win. So again, I held on to it. And it played out pretty well. So I went ahead and closed that prior to the show. 59% win for the good guys. You guys are crushing it in the chat. Love you. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are voting right now. It looks like you guys are 56%, 58% short for today. Okay, so you guys are feeling a little bit bearish now that price action pulled back. Let's go ahead and find ourselves a poop coin for the day. BMT, not going to mess with that. That's up 80%. That's moving. Meme. Let's take a look at this. Well, if you guys want to go short, let's see here. I mean, it did find a little bit of support there. Let's kind of go back left on the chart. I think that's fair. You got a little area here. All right. We're going to go short on Meme-Fi. Don't know diddly squat about it, but it looks like you guys are 60% short. Ending the poll now. Let's do it. Let's do it. 20x. It won't even let you go over 20x. All right, guys. Good luck with this one. Hope it works out. I don't really have much of an analysis here. I mean, it looks like it's pulling back, and I could see it very realistically, at least coming down to here and retesting that area. So let's go for it. I'm in on it. Let's see. Market. Here we go. Here we go. We're in. Short is in on Meme-Fi. Let's go back. There you go. Let's get this going. All right. I see some of you showing up here in the chat. Let's say what's up to you. I got last one standing on crypto. What up, fam? How you doing? Good to see you. Darren does things. Hey, yo, Trade Brigade. You know it, bro. I think I'm going to roll with it. I do. We'll see. The votes. I actually haven't looked at the votes today. And you know what? Can I look at that? I can look at Discord. Hold up. CVO trading. Yep, I've been there before. Wants me to open Discord in your browser. Let's see. Let's see what the oh, nope, that's me and Alex. Let's see. Do. Otter talk. Here we go. We're checking. We are checking. I have no idea where this is at. He's got all kinds of happy birthday messages, as he should. Oh, somebody's looking at me on TV. Embarrassing. Here we go. I know it's here. See? There's a little, one of the little logos that I had. And here we go. What are the results? So far, we're sitting at 43% wingman. Trade brigade, it's only at 19%. Squadron is at 25%. Platoon at 13%. So there you go. There you go. That is winning the votes. Now, not saying I'm 100% going to go with it just because it's winning the votes. But that being said, I do like trade brigade. Trade brigade. I think it has a nice little ring to it. All right. So here we go. Let's keep this going here. And you guys don't need that. Where were we? Economic calendar. All right. So we did have building permits and housing starts today. They actually were under consensus and forecast for, I think it was under forecast. It was over consensus for building permits. And then for housing starts, that was actually over consensus and forecast. So that's not the biggie though. I mean, that's kind of, I would say, somewhat status quo there. The biggie's tomorrow. All right, we got Fed interest rate decision. We got FOMC economic projections. We got the Fed press conference. All of that's going tomorrow. So a lot of times, like, and I was talking about this yesterday, you may see a little bit of a consolidation or a little bit of a pullback going into a time of uncertainty, right? People are de-risking. They're getting out of the market just because there could be volatility the next day. And you see this time and time again. It doesn't happen every time, but you know, that's why I talked about it yesterday. It's just a trend that I've kind of picked up on. So what I'm seeing today, not too surprising to see it on the charts, but you know, you got to position yourself for where you think price action could go. Unfortunately, sometimes you just got to wait for this news to kind of come out and then kind of catch the trend once it moves. All right, so we already talked about Alex. Again, happy birthday, brother. Just then, gold reaches new all-time high of $3,025. So, you know, there was a discussion this morning on Piper Academy and Morning Market Report, and basically that correlation between gold and Bitcoin being digital gold. And, you know, a lot of times what I've noticed is people are kind of cherry picking like the time frame in terms of the comparison between gold and Bitcoin as that digital gold asset. It has far outperformed gold, and it's not even close. Just because gold is hitting an all-time high doesn't mean that the asset is outperforming Bitcoin. It's not even close. You know, if you're taking the past 5 years or, you know, since the inception of Bitcoin, it's vastly outperformed gold. So it's just a matter of timing when you're getting in. Yeah, gold is looking good. And you got to understand too, why are people flocking to gold? Well, there's a lot of instability in the market. There's a lot of, you know, unstable times in the world in terms of, you know, what's actually going on with wars and things of that nature. So that is all part of it. Like there's other economies, macroeconomics, that are not doing well. China, Japan, you know, just to name a few, Russia, you know, they're not doing too great, and their economies aren't doing too great either. Right. So understand that all has a piece of this. It all has, you know, a say in the fight. So, you know, just understand that. But hey, it's cool, man. I say diversify. Okay. You guys know I always say
I love gold.
And I do. And honestly, like, I think it's important to be diversified. I was talking to a financial planner today, and she was kind of going through some things, and I was like, well, I'm doing this, and this. I'm diversifying, and this is how I'm doing it with 401ks, IRAs, crypto, you know, traditional stocks, rental properties, you know, hard assets like gold, silver, things of that nature. Like I have something, you know, I won't say of everything, but I have a very diverse portfolio, I would say. And I think that's very important because at certain times you're going to see them kind of flip-flop back and forth, where gold and, you know, silver and some of those tangible assets that can be actually exchanged. Understand that when you go back in time, what did we used to do? We bartered. We had to have a tangible asset in exchange for another tangible asset. The problem that has kind of developed for us is that the dollar used to represent, you know, a somewhat tangible asset, right? It was a note that was backed by gold at one point. And so that asset, like when you're trading it, it meant something. You know, it did. And now we've kind of lost that because now we have 14 magic money printers, according to Elon. So, you know, there's that. But again, tangent, gold is a good asset to have. I'm not sure I'm buying all-time highs, just not my thing personally. I already hold some of these assets, and I will continue to hold them because if times get weird, there's a couple things I want to have, man. I'm not one of those guys that's storing like food and water and all that stuff, but I do have guns and tangible assets. I will tell you that, and I am going to hold those. All right. So on another note, and this is one of the things I really thought was going to take off on the blockchain that really never did develop. But Sega, I guess, is releasing a game on the Sui, whatever you want to call it, network. All right. And joins some Atari and Super Nintendo titles, which is pretty cool, man. I think that's cool to get some exposure to some of those old nostalgic games, bring that on the blockchain. And I think it makes sense, right? Because it's not really super tasking in terms of, you know, resources, right? So some of the games now, super resource intensive. When you're trying to get something, you know, playable with good, we'll say gameplay, you know, you'll probably have to find something that's a little bit less resource intensive. So it's a good start. And, you know, at one point, like I really thought that, you know, we were going to be able to trade currency with games and things of that nature. And I think it's they can do it, but I thought it was going to hit mainstream games. Like I thought like some of the currencies for some of the games like what is the one that's really popular, Fortnite, like at some point I thought that the currency would go to the blockchain, but never really developed that way. And that's something I would say I was wrong on in terms of kind of my thought process. I will say AVAX does have a good blockchain. It's got the kind of the gaming narrative thing, and that is why, you know, I've always kind of liked AVAX. But here nor there, a lot of that really hasn't developed. Gala was supposed to be one of those big hitters in the space as well. Again, that's kind of fallen off a cliff. I mean, you can look at the price action. You can see there's not a lot of marketing going on for Gala. There's been some turmoil within its own leadership as well. So, you know, it is what it is. But I still think at some point it will be a thing. It will be at least some little piece of utility that you'll be able to use in terms of some of these digital assets. All right, let's go ahead and bring up our dude. It is time. Sound the siren. Elmer Fudd's on his way. All right. The collapse of U.S. consumers' unemployment expectations in the U.S. are now above 2020 levels and at their highest since 2008. In 2024, a poll showed that a whopping 56% of Americans thought the U.S. was in a recession. Is the U.S. in a recession? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you think that the U.S. is in a recession or was in a recession. Like I was making videos, I believe it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. It might have been 2 years ago now. I was making videos on my own channel, and I was adamant that like, hey, we're in a recession, right? We had that bear market in 2022. That's when I started making content. It was in the middle of a bear market. It was great. You want to find a way to get subscribers and get a following, start making videos in a bear market. However, it did give me an opportunity to develop. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, they essentially changed the definition of what a recession was in the middle of a recession. It was almost comical what they were doing here. And if you guys don't know, like a piece of that is the GDP. The other thing is they can manipulate the GDP number. So when you are, this is actually funny when you think about it. When you look at GDP, did you know that a piece of GDP incorporates government jobs and government spending, essentially? Yeah, let that sink in. So basically that proportion of the GDP got inflated to keep up the number, the actual GDP number, they inflated that. So they are not even artificially, they inflated it, right? So that's why we kind of gotten into this issue, the current issue where Doge is coming in and like cleaning house, right? Because they inflated that piece of the pie to make the numbers look better. And now we are paying the piper, right? They're like, oh, hold on. Like, you guys created all this nonsense, all this, they basically added a lot of fat to the equation, and now we're going back and we have to trim the fat. And that's kind of why we're dealing with a little bit of what we're dealing with. So what might happen with that, right? Let's say we trim the fat. Let's say we get rid of, you know, some of this inflated, you know, the jobs, the spending, all that. We get rid of that. GDP is going to go down, right? So brace yourself for that. And that is, I think, part of the reason, on top of the tariffs and some of the policies that are put in place, but that is part of the reason where Trump was very open about saying, yeah, we might be headed for a recession. Because what's going to happen, you're going to start getting some of the real data, I think, once we start trimming that fat, and then it's going to look ugly. So understand that, like, there was kind of a poop pie, you know, pass along, and now there's a lot of mess cleaning up. So it is what it is. And again, you know, it's completely split. It's faults on both sides. Understand that, because it takes you know, the government officials as a whole to put a lot of this in place. And there's a lot of people that made a lot of money, and it is on both sides. All right. So just understand it is not a one-way street. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone whatsoever. All right, let's go ahead and give out some chat shouts here. We got C90 for the win. What's up? He said, pump it. I got something for you, bro. Let's do it. LBC in the house. He said, I voted for Brigade. Dude, I can't even say Brigade. I keep messing it up. Oh my God. Trade Brigade. I got it. Here we go. I do like the way it sounds, though. It sounds pretty good. All right. DDT gave you a shout out. Moho. I diversified into many different poops coins and now live in regret and poverty. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey, man, McDonald's in California is paying, I think, like $20 an hour, bro. So, I mean, you'd be all right. Just saying. All right. Sniper's Nightmare, what's up? I got more stored than everyone in Otter Gang combined. Okay. All right. My man. Let's go. Scrolling down. B Team Crypto. Gang. What's up? Kala is toast. Yeah, bro. I think it might be. It's weird, though. Like, we'll look at Gala. Just remind me if I don't have one of my ADD moments. We'll look at Gala, but like it has these massive run-ups and it just comes from nowhere. Flatlines, massive run-up. Flatline, massive run-up. Could be. Could happen again. Never know. But the I want to say it was the owner. I don't know. It might have been the CEO. It was probably the CEO. I think he said, do not buy Gala as an investment. It's not what it's meant for. And they said that a really long time ago, like when it hit, you know, some of these exchanges. So I don't really understand the construct, but I mean, I believe it was the CEO said it. It was somebody higher in the leadership chain said that directly. It was like, it's not an investment. So do not purchase it for that. So very, very interesting. Are you saying I'm fat? I don't know. You work for the U.S. government? I know that's not a fact. My old Canadian friend. Let's see. FD, what's up, bro? What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Much appreciated for you being here, brother. Cool kids, you know it. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Because it's nothing but love for FD. Let's go to some YouTube. FD White. Invest. There it is. Of course, you know I'm subbed to my man. 1.68 subs. My dude. And of course, I'm subscribed. You guys go over there. Do the same. Show my boy some love. Give him a subscription. I would truly, truly appreciate that. And of course, he's my dude. He's my dude. We're going to get him on, whether he knows it or not. Oh, shoot. I got to bring my screen up. There it is. Boom. Boom, shakalaka. We got it. Again, go check out my dude FD. All right. Let's go ahead and continue on with some of this market stuff. We're going to get over to the liquidation heat map. So, man, there was something, gosh, I was a little upset. So, you know, I was looking at some key areas for a couple assets, and I was looking at Bitcoin this morning, and I was looking at where it was. I was at the bottom of, we'll say a range, and it was just sitting on support, sitting there, right? There was no real bounce, which is literally sitting there. And in the midst of me trying to get something out to the people, I was looking at this right here. So we were sitting right here, literally right here at 82.3, sitting there and just like flatlined. And I was like, man, it's too damn close. It's too damn close to liquidity. I thought there was going to be a wick here. At a minimum, it looks like it just said, yeah, I'm going to take all of that. All right, because so if you look at this right here, I want you to look to the left of this wick. So understand, when you look to the left of the wick, that this is what you saw on the chart earlier. All right, you didn't see all of this. This comes in after you hit an area of support or you get a bounce, and then you see this liquidity start coming in now at 80K. That didn't really, it was warm, but it wasn't hot, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so just understanding this liquidation heat map and how it actually works is very, very important when you're using it as part of your analysis. So again, I tried to get that out to you guys this morning. Unfortunately, as I was like typing it, it dumped. So sorry I didn't get it out to you earlier. I had to sleep. I had to work till midnight last night. I actually didn't get back till about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And is what it is. Can't be 24/7, sorry. Let's go over to... Let's go to Bitcoin. We'll start at Bitcoin here. Actually, you know what? Let's look at DXY real quick. I haven't looked at that much recently. What do we got going on here? Let's go out to the daily. All right. So you can see the DXY is actually finding an area of support. So if you guys know, I mean, there's a loose correlation between the DXY and Bitcoin. It is definitely changed. All right. I would say the inverse correlation has diverged a little bit. It is not exactly the same, but it's always something to look at, right? Keep it in your scan, just kind of get an idea where DXY is sitting, but it's sitting right at support right now. You can see how key this level is. Look, it came up, rejected. And with that, I believe with that move down, we got a little bounce for Bitcoin off of its low. If I'm correct, I believe that's kind of how that played out. So, you know, always good to look at. If we do hold this area, what does that do? I think it opens up the door for, you know, some positive price action for Bitcoin if it holds up. Or no, correction, I'm lying to you. I am so lying to you. Actually, if it loses, it's got to lose this area of support. So, actually quite the difference of what I was just saying. But yeah, so a little inverse correlation. So if it does fall through, then we could look for some positive action. Or if it just consolidates and stays here, that kind of opens up the door to really hang your hat on some TA. But enough of that. DXY, again, it's not been too consistent. But I'll tell you what I have been following. It's the NASDAQ. It is the NASDAQ. So looking at the NASDAQ, you look here, you found some support, and look, it kind of broke out. So a little bit of consolidation, broke out, moved to the upside, and it's continuing its move to the upside. That's a good thing, right? Because there's a small correlation there for NASDAQ and Bitcoin as well. Again, it's loose, but positive momentum for the NASDAQ is typically good for Bitcoin. So let's get over to the Bitcoin, and we will look at that. Let's go to the 4-hour real quick. Got a couple levels we're looking at here, of course. I got lines galore going on. Let me see here. Catch up on the chat. Alex O, LBC collab. All right, right on. TradeFly, LBC. Okay, LBC trying to get out there, I see. Yeah, of course, dude. I would totally get you on. It's not even a thought. You're fan bam. You fan bam. All set, what up to you? Good to see you, Mike Play. GM, how you doing? See everyone's kind of flowing in here today. BC Port Corp, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. All right, so let's look at the chart here. A couple areas that I'm looking at here. So if you guys are in the Discord, one of the things I was looking at was for a move up, potentially. So I was kind of waiting for this to play out. It didn't play out. All right, so we can just say what I was looking at is invalidated because it never played out. But what I was hoping for is to see price action come up here. There's an area of liquidity at 85,450. All right. So as we were sitting in the middle, there was kind of two scenarios I was looking at. And what I had mentioned is that price action could potentially come up here, grab this liquidity, reestablish the zone, come back down, have a little bounce here. Well, it never made it up there. All right. So that happens when you're sitting in the middle of the zone. Again, we're just trying to find ways to get ahead of it. But what I did say, also kind of on the tail end of that analysis, was if we lose this trend line, then we could be looking for some downside, right? And what do we do then? We lose the trend line. What do we start doing? Well, then we say, okay, where's areas of support? And then where is the liquidity sitting? Well, here's where the liquidity is sitting. Now, understand this box right here is the benefit of hindsight. I'm not going to say that I am in the prediction business of saying, hey, it was coming down to this green box or this teal box here. This is the benefit of hindsight. Now, this is the area, once I identified the liquidity, once I saw the move starting to come down, this is an area I'm like, okay, I'm going to start looking at this area for potential reversal. Now, I will say the stronger area for us to look at is really around 80,000, and that's based on the 0.5 of a macro fib retracement as well as a pivot point. All right, so understand, like this would be the area where you would have more. I will say you're a little more confident in this area here down at about 80,000. All right, that's where you could likely see, a stronger bounce. You got a little more lining up for you here in terms of, price action, strong moves off of these areas. That just helps you feel a little bit better. But it looks like it kind of just hit the top of the area. And really what I was looking at when I was looking at this area, which is kind of wide, let's be real about it. But I'm just looking to see where do we get strong buys? Where do you get wicks? And this is on the 4 hours. So this is a nice wick coming off of that area showing buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure, so there are willing buyers in this area. So I'm just, I'm keeping it all into consideration. Again, it's kind of a wide area to look at, but sure enough, we grab that liquidity and we see it time and time again. It grabs that liquidity and that's all it gives an S about, getting the liquidity, and then you see those turnarounds, right? So if you look at the liquidation heat map, which you probably saw probably on the smaller time frames, is it probably went a little bit dark, right? There's probably some hot spots in this area, a little bit darker right here, opens up for a little bit of reversal, and that's what you're seeing. So when I said there's an area we got to fight with now, well, it's really about 82.3. The area that we fought with the hold as support is now going to be resistance, okay? So understand that that is kind of a key level for me when I'm looking at it. If you weren't able to catch this area here, then now this is, it's going to be tough because you got to, you're talking about $300. All right. So we're already at 82K. It's not where I would take a long position. If you got in, it would be around here or here. Would be kind of your two areas to look at, really, or really anywhere in that area. But I would have probably played the top or the bottom of that box. I wouldn't have played the middle, just because if you come down here, you're likely coming down here. If you found your support here, then that's where you're looking for a little bit of reversal. So we got to get over this. All right, 82.3. It's big. You can see, right? It kind of started building a range. It was kind of range. I was consolidating in this area a little bit. For me, the thing that you're working with is there's just a lot of resistance above. There's a lot of resistance above your head. You got a horizontal, you got trend lines, you got more horizontals. I mean, so, it's be careful, but, I think it'll be a good thing if we're just grabbing this liquidity and then reestablishing the range. And if you can see a continuation of NASDAQ price continuing to work its way up, so traditional finance is looking good, then, I think we may be okay. All right. And again, I would start looking in this range again for some plays. So keep your eye on this, right? This could just be a wick. When it's all said and done, this could turn out to just be a wick on the daily. See what I'm saying? We see this a lot. I mean, look at how strong some of these wicks are. So you can see that there was willing buyers in this area. And so if it's just a wick, we reestablish the range, kind of all Gucci, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not going to be scared out just thinking that Bitcoin's dumping. But that being said, what do we have tomorrow? FOMC, and that's going to have a vote. So you just gotta be careful. But understand that, it's right now we have an area to keep our eye on, kind of to hold up for support for Bitcoin. And then what happens if we work our way down? Well, we still have some confluence here. It hasn't completely diverged. You have the median of the channel. You can already see that was support, and you have a horizontal. All right, so your horizontal and the median, if you want to look at top side of that, you're looking at about 76.7, 76.8 if we have a really quick fall down. So, I wouldn't be totally against, you know, setting a limit order here. I might even do it myself, to be honest with you, because you'll see a lot of volatility with this FOMC stuff, right? So we get these quick wicks down, you know, market gets shook, and then all of a sudden it recovers super, super quick. So looking at this, as we zoom out on the daily, right, you can kind of see this clear area at about 84.5. So that was one of the areas I kind of been keying in on, 84.5. Just see the split in the price action. And really that's all I'm looking at. So I think really this red line we can kind of dump. I think that was more for, I was looking at some scalp trades, intraday type stuff, but as we're developing this range a little bit more, let's see here. Even here, I think I'm comfortable with getting rid of on the daily. Let's just clean it up a little bit. So again, you can see now where you have a horizontal level, and it's a little bit of a range, but you also have liquidity. And that's really, really what I'm going to be keeping my eye on, is that area. I think that's probably, of all the levels, is probably one of the biggest for me right now, is about 84.4, 84.5. All right, I think we're going to chase that liquidity at some point. Since we chase the liquidity to the downside, now we got to see if we start working our way back up. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. I do think if we work our way up, the likely scenario that you're going to see is probably an initial rejection off of this area. Okay, so that is what I'll be looking for. I'll understand there's a little bit of a range there, you know, probably 84, 85 to about 85.4 is kind of a range to look for. The problem is if it gets up there, I really, really think if we work our way up there again, that liquidity is what they're going to be looking for. So we'll see how that plays out. And that is the ugliest arrow I have ever drawn, but it is what it is. Cool. So that's a look-see at Bitcoin. You can see overall trend still working its way down and right. That hasn't changed. All right, so predominantly we should be looking for shorts, vice longs. It's just the name of the game, man. You want to have a better chance at winning. Trade with the trend. Trade with the trend. All right, cool. Let's go over to the chat, give some shout outs here, and then we will work on to a couple other tokens today. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. Oh, you know what? Anybody call me out on music yet? You guys are slacking on that. Let's get some TA music going. Is that coming through? Oh gosh, this sounds like an 80s porno. Sorry. Anybody watch Late Night Cinemax? Alright. What they used to call it? Skinemax? Alright, here we go. Let's see what you guys got going on in the chat here. You guys are just having your own conversation. FOMC tomorrow. Yep. Here we go. What's up with BC? Now I gotta read the chat. Oh, well, I don't know. Whatever's going on with you, BC, man. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you feel better soon. I don't think we'll get much movement off FOMC and no change of rates. That's valid. I mean, I don't know that you'll necessarily bank on a change of rates, but that being said, there just seems to always be volatility around FOMC, regardless. Like you usually see like an initial jump in one direction or another, and I think the market will move. There's typically volatility with FOMC. We'll see. We'll see, man. I'll say the odds are in our favor. Sniper's Nightmare. I'm guessing that's a sub. I have these new little, I don't even know, I guess plugins, and they let me know when people sub. That's pretty cool. So there you go. Sniper's Nightmare. Thank you for subbing. Appreciate you. Let's get it. Let's get it. Save it for the OnlyFans. Well, you know, if crypto doesn't work out for me, I gotta do what I gotta do, okay? I gotta make a couple bucks. Sorry. Alexandra G. I don't know what message you pulled back, but you were probably dirty, huh? Alright. Let's go. What else we got in here? Thoughts on USDT dominance. You know, I haven't looked at that too much, man. I know a lot of people are pretty big on that. Let me see if I even have that pulled up on the charts. It's not something that I will be brutally honest. In terms of analysis for me, I have not looked extensively at that. It's called a shortfall. It's DT, dominance, but let's see what we can look at. I know that I think it's Geo. Geo is really big on USDT dominance. I think I'm pulling that up right now. I'll look at it, but to be real with you, my analysis will probably be incorrect. So for USDT dominance, just looking at the price action right now of dominance, and I don't know that price action is probably not even the right word, but I'm guessing inverse correlation. Let me know, man. I'm guessing we're looking at an inverse correlation would be my guess. Show chart. I could do that. I was dreaming about OnlyFans. Sorry. All right, so they're printing through DDT. They're still buying back bonds. Right on. See what Darren said. No rate change this and next meeting. Fed are gonna the U.S. economy unless they start chasing their tails and cut and print soon. TradeFly mates usernames oiled ankles collab. I love it. All right, so yeah, I mean, looking at the USDT dominance again, it looks like, I mean, you can see a nice little trend working its way up as price action has been working its way down for Bitcoin. So I guess that is why I'm making the assumption that there's an inverse correlation here. So, I mean, it does still look like the trend is clearly up and right for dominance. But that being said, you know, this would theoretically be a bearish pattern, right? It's in a channel working its way up. It's likely to break to the downside, which would open up the door for a reversal. And I'm only taking a guess here. I'm not a USDT dominance guy, but just understanding what the price action's been doing for Bitcoin and what this is showing me on the chart, I'm making an assumption, inverse correlation. So, but yeah, as of right now, man, that thing is just up and away, which I guess theoretically would be a bad thing for Bitcoin. So, all right, cool. Let me know though, man. Let me see, 5.53%. Need to hold as resistance on the weekly. Okay. So 5.53% need to hold as resistance. So yeah, is it inverse correlation you're talking about? And you said the weekly. Let's look at that. Let's see. Just kind of looking through here. Let's get a horizontal. So you said 5.53%. Okay. I see where that makes sense, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Let me see. Let's go back to the 4 hour. It hasn't come down yet to even retest the bottom part of this channel. Guess it all depends on how you draw it. Yeah, even if I give it a little bit of love to the inside here, that's kind of tough, bro. It looks like it's gonna retest this area, no doubt about it. Let's see. I mean, I know that bringing in an indicator is not a tried and true method when you're looking at things like dominance, but I mean, you can see the strength right now going into the retest. So, I mean, if you're taking that into consideration and you're thinking about it, do you look for a little rejection here, comes down, retest the trend line here? So a little rejection. So I guess that would mean upside movement for Bitcoin, retest this area. And then are we talking about Bitcoin going back down again. So short-term upside movement for Bitcoin. And then after this plays out, looking for some movement to the upside. Let me know, man. I'm kind of learning with you. I'm all about learning as well. Like I said, USDT, not something that's been big for me. I know Geo looks at it a lot, but again, hasn't been my thing. Cool. Let's get into some other coins here, and then yeah, just drop that knowledge in the chat, man. We're all here to learn. I'm constantly learning. We're all learning. That's the name of the game, right? I'm not here to say that I know it all, and I'm the all-knowing, right? So let's look at Cardano. I did want to look at that. There's an area that I've been looking at here. I did drop that in the chat. So here's the issue. So I was looking at this. All right, you kind of identified a nice little zone here. And what I was looking at is the value area high of a previous range was acting as support, right? And that was, I believe, yeah, so there was a nice little box between the value area low as well as the value area high of a previous range. And you can see price action kind of working in there and holding up pretty well. So I was looking at an opportunity here for Cardano. The problem is I needed Bitcoin to hold its current level at 82.3 this morning, which it did not. So as Bitcoin fell down, fell under 82.3, this fell right through the zone, and look what's happening right now on the 4-hour. You're retesting the zone. So this kind of, it shows me like, hey, like we did identify a good area, but the unfortunate thing is like it could retest it and continue its way down to 66 cents. So you got to be careful with this one. I'm going to be honest with you. So obviously a lot to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's daddy. I'm hoping, again, just like I was talking about with Bitcoin, you hope on the daily, you're looking at it and you hope it's just a wick. All right, that's the hope, is that this pulls up and goes back in. But if you're looking at the smaller time frames, if you're a 4-hour guy, this is not what you want to see, especially if you get a candle close. You got a long time though. You got 3 hours for a candle close on the 4-hour. But if you do get a body that works its way down, you get a candle close down here, not ideal. I think 66 is going to be the jam for Cardano if we do get a close underneath of this zone right here. So keep that, mark it on your charts. Could be an opportunity. I'm going to mark it myself, to be honest with you. Could add to a position there for Cardano at 66 cents. Just got to see what's going on tomorrow, man. And so I'm kind of taking it slow, to be honest with you guys, not rushing into too many trades. Just got to see how things play out, right? You don't want to fight the trend. When crypto gets moving, sometimes that thing moves hard, and you do not want to be the liquidity. There's no doubt about that. All right, looking at some of the chat here. Let me see what you got, man. Last one standing. Sorry, seriously though, I am seeing a huge influx of applications to facility a lot more people in the labor market. Like, boom, this should translate to the market soon. So if there's an influx of applications for people in the labor market, there's two ways you can look at that. There really is. And that could be people looking for other employment, right? They've gotten laid off from government positions, they're trimming the fat, and now there's an influx in applications as they go out and get into, the private sector. You can see a little bit of that. It depends on kind of where you're at, your locality. Or there's people that are struggling right now, so they're looking for another position, like working 2 jobs. So if you look at some of the data right now, people that are working more than 1 job right now is astronomically high. I don't know if it's at an all-time high, but it is very, very high. And it's crazy because there's this spread. There's a lot of people that are like, okay, I'm just not going to work at all, and I'm just going to, let the government pay. And there's people that take that approach, and then there's other people that take the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and they're like, all right, I got to work my butt off. I got to do everything I can to support my family. So they apply to multiple jobs, and the amount of people in a household, like if I were to say how many jobs we work in my household right now, between 2 people, it's 4. We both have 2 means of employment. It's 4. So one household is accounting for 4 jobs and 2 people. And I think that is very much a trend with a lot of people. And you may work what is technically a full-time job, and then you may have a part-time job as well. That's very normal these days. So that's all things that really have to kind of go into the equation, and things that have to be thought about when we start talking about job numbers. And that data, I'm starting to get to the point where I think it's almost impossible to track. Like, I just don't think that they can accurately track jobs data. They were a million off. Let that sink in. All right, so that's Cardano. Quick analysis on that. Let's go to Solana. Kind of keeping up with some of the coins we've been watching, right? Like, you always want to see, like, once you start watching something, like, and you're trying to trade it, like, keep watching it, keep checking in on it every day, see where it's at. And here we are. So I was looking for a move up to this area at the platinum pocket. Didn't quite make it. All right, now this is an old one. This is like a macro fib, so this really, you know, it's only kind of playing out as resistance because it's a horizontal as well. That's why I left it on there. But let's be real, I probably should have brought that down a little bit, just looking at some of these wicks, where these closes are. But I left it there because it's a little of a zone. You have to understand that when you're looking at these charts. Like, I have some of the lines on there to keep it cleaner, but you do need to understand when you're looking at it, you got to look at some of the closes and some of the rejections, right? Or the support and the rejections, like where you're getting resistance at. So like, it's not going to be perfect. It is not going to be perfect by any means. But you can see it did push up to that area, and it got a pretty hard rejection for Solana. So we are now back. We're back to our area where we started at 121. I did layer into a position with Solana at 121. And now I have to think, you know, about, do I want to do it again? Do I just kind of stick it out? We're back here. That's cool. Or do I start looking at, like, hey, where am I going to set the stop loss? You know, that's all things to consider here. I will say that for me, this is an area I have been looking at. All right. There's liquidity down here for Solana. So I think this is kind of be like my last ditch effort in terms of layering into a position with Solana. And it's not like super high capital, but just understand I'm layering in, and it's just a different means of kind of DCing into it. So you have liquidity here. You have the psychological area of $100. You got a point of control from a previous range right here. All right, go left on the chart. You can see there's an opportunity for a bounce here. The problem is, if you fall through this area, that's not great, right? You fall under 121, that is like confirmed. That's why this line is so thick, is because you can see over and over and over again, it has been support. It is a pretty big deal to lose that area, but it's also not uncommon when you have areas of support like that. And I'm not going to call it necessarily a fake out, but it has that perception. Right, so you get people trapped, you get people shook out. You know, there's two benefits to the market maker, but the real thing for them is to get this liquidity. This is what they want. This is what they want right here, is the liquidity. So to see this price action come down, take that liquidity, bounce off of this area, very much in play. We fall through that, then, you know, that gets weird. That definitely gets weird. And you know, if you see a continuation of price action under 81, I'm gonna stay clear of it. That's just kind of my thought process. That's I think the bottom of the previous range. Yeah, so that's pretty much all you really have to hang your hats on. After that, you can see here by looking at the price action, there's not a lot of volume in here. There's really not. So there is a couple ranges that maybe you can, you know, find some support on, but I'd be very, very careful if it loses this range right here. Honestly, I'm gonna be careful if you lose the current range, to be real with you. That changes a lot in terms of price action for Solana. It's been so strong for so long. So unfortunately, the FUD is taking hold of Solana, but that's good, man. We've seen Solana before. It went down to $8. And what was that? That was FTX and FUD. $8. And where'd it go? All the way up to 300, over 300. So I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time for Solana. I'm not too worried about Solana right now. All right, what did I say? I said remind me. Remind me to look at something. What was it? Told you I'd get ADD. Was it Ando? Anybody remember? I think it was it was Gala. My man, LBC. Let's go. Let's see. Let's see what we got in the chat right now. I learned something a few days ago. If you guys are content creators, and you probably already know this, when you pop out the chat, I don't even know if you have to pop it out, but I always pop it out to the right so that it doesn't become part of the scene. But at the top right, where the three little buttons are, there's a participants. And you can actually see who's in the chat. Dog. Life-changing. Absolutely life-changing. Yeah. LBC paying attention. You know it. Alright, let's go to Gala. I think it was C90 for the win that was talking about it too, right? He's probably not even in here anymore, is he? All good. So, all I wanted to show you, though, was these crazy moves for Gala. Let's go to the daily. Huge fall off. But, this is what I'm talking about, man. Look at these big moves that Gala gets. That's a 285% move. Let's see, we won't only take it from bottom. We'll take it from here, before, right when it made the move. It's a 300% move. It's a 291% move. Gala makes stupid moves. Now, where are we at right now for Gala? I mean, let's be real. Like, this is a low. It ain't the low. But, I mean, we're only talking about 13 to 15 cents. The problem is figuring out if this thing is dead or not. I don't know. I don't think it is, but I haven't read much about it recently. But this is very much in nature for Gala. I don't know, man. Like, just looking at it, looking at where it's at, taking a flyer on this may be a thing. Let's move this down. I just want to see. It always kind of helps you out to start drawing. I didn't really like that. Let's use a box. So here's the bottom of that move, and there's the bottom of that move. Let's go ahead and pull it out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just throw a G at it? This is a YOLO trade. But a spot position on Gala, I mean, man, that could pay out nice if I just hold on to it. It could also go to 0. I mean, it's as close to 0 as you can get. I would rather take a YOLO trade on Gala than some other meme token. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it up for a vote. Let's see what you guys think. All right, vote is up. Vote is up. Let's see what you guys think. Should we YOLO a Gala trade? Look at Ancient 8. I caught a nice trip up early Sunday morning. Ancient 8. I don't have that one up, I don't think. Tokenomics on Gala went to ish. Think I'll continue to be a dead project. You think so, man? Yeah. I know there was a lot of like turmoil with leadership on Gala. I do know that, but I haven't really followed it much. But I mean, I don't know. It has fallen off. But it's just funny, like when you look at it like this, and you're like, oh, just little moves. But those are 200 and 300% moves. Ain't nothing like this though. Good Lord. Good Lord. I gotta measure this move. That's 882% for Gala. That's crazy. I don't think we're gonna see that again, but can we see a revival? Because they're doing stuff like Gala music and stuff like that too. Like they're not, I don't think they're done building, right? Is that going to be on a different like chain or a different coin are they using? I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna do some research. That's what I'll do. I think you guys look pretty split on whether I should YOLO a trade for Gala. So, you know, DYOR, right? Do a little research, take a look, see what's going on with Gala. But I will say I'm interested. I'll say I'm interested in just throwing some money and letting it sit and just waiting for a move. And then it would just be a matter of figuring out where you want to get out. And just taking kind of the three of these. What do you go conservative, and then you look for a lower. Let's see here. Boom. Look for that. And then conservative, right? Just looking through. There you go. So a realistic move. 194%. Yeah, I'm gonna take some look at it. You know what I'll do? I'll drop it in the trading groups on in Alex O's Discord and then Piper Academy. I'll see what I find out, but that could be an option. Looks like you guys are very split. Very split on that. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll now. Appreciate you guys voting. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. It's pretty much that time to wrap this up, but you know what? Let's do one more coin. Any coin of your guys' choice. First person to get something in the chat, you win the game. So go ahead and drop it. Got to be something kind of normal though. Not something super obscure. Gala's poop. Hey man, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it is what it is, man. I'm not against taking a flyer on it. All right. See, Joey. No Gala. All right, Alex O. He has spoken. No Gala. All right. I'm with you. You tossed me out of it. Maybe. Hey man, I gotta have fun too. Have my little DJ moments. All right, sweet. Oh, I didn't even play my Soul Train music. It's all good. All right, looking at Swee. Let's do it. Here we go. So we have talked about this a little bit here recently, and what does you need to happen? You need it to reestablish itself over top of this area, this horizontal level, right? So we did not get that. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you want to look for it to do the OC retest, right? That is what that picture was about, is you want to see it come up, retest the area, close above this area, and then look for that continuation up and right. However, you do have a trend line kind of fighting you as well. So that is going to be tough. So you want to break out of that, and really you're hanging yourself on the, or hanging your hat really on the point of control here. All right. That is really what you got. And let me look at this. Man, I don't even know, like, I mean, you could say the point of control, but honestly, like, this is just a trend down. I can't even really classify that as a range. I typically like doing these by range-based, by time-based. Let's take that away. And again, same thing. Looking for that breakout, OC retest, get over resistance. We have not been able to do it. Sweet has just been on a downhill trend for a minute. Let's look here. Got a little level there. And a level here. So what we can do though is take this range and see what we can pull from that. All right. So we got that range. Cool. We've seen it hang there before. That's cool. Looking at your value area high. Let's change the color so we don't get confused. Let's go like a dark. There you go. What I was looking for. There we go. POC. Cool. So there you go. There's an area for you to look at, right? So you have the previous range here. You got your value area high, which that is where it looks like it's actually trying to hold support. Is the previous value area high of the range. You also have a small little hiccup here before it took off. So you have that horizontal. So it's a little bit of a squeeze right now. You can see, look, right here. So the high of this range, as well as where it found resistance. So this lets me know that this area right here at $2.36, critical. It's probably, and it's the golden pocket of, I'm assuming, a macro. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit, look at it. Yep, I can see that clear as day. So from low to high is where that came from. That pulled back to the golden pocket, right? So 618. Let's actually let's redraw that because I want to see where we're at in relation to the fib here. Are we in it or are we below it? We're below it. So it's actually, look at that. So this is, you'll see I do this a lot when I find a nice horizontal and it lines up with the golden pocket. I'll just have the horizontal and then I'll also put golden pocket. It just keeps my charts a little cleaner. But you can see, like, that's acting as resistance right now. So good to know. Something for you to pay attention to, no doubt. Let me see here. It's kind of a key level. Kind of a key level for you to break. I think that's kind of your line in the sand in my mind. $2.36, 37. We'll go up to 240 for government work, right? They can fudge the numbers, so can we. 237 to 240. All right, so that's your area of resistance you'll be looking at. Again, per the norm, you'll hear me say this a lot. We're gonna look for a little bit of an OC retest. All right, that's who we should have on. Let's get OC on here. So you got this trend line that it is following that trend line. There is no doubt about it. Resistance all the way down, breaks through here. So we want to see a break of this and a break of this. All right, so two things I want to see get broken with an OC retest, and then we look for a move to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking for on SUI. I think really that kind of falls in line with what I was looking at before with previous analysis. When I saw the squiggly lines arrow up, looking for the same areas. But now we have just a little bit further confluence. The more we look at the charts, the more we can build a case for why we're looking for something. So right now, in the meantime, you got resistance. All right, that's the name of the game for SUI. It's going to struggle with that, and then you got a nice little area here, $2.11. $2.11. You know that you can also have a breakout down here, right? It doesn't have to be up here. Right, as price action kind of works its way to the right, just kind of works its way, you could see something where it breaks out, of this trend, finds support here, and then works its way up too. Like, that's very much in play. But then you got to start thinking about, okay, where do I have resistance? I'm not even sure what this is about. This is probably some smaller time frame stuff. Let's get rid of that. So now we could be looking at something again, right? So this is, it's prepping, right? It's getting ahead of the price action. And then we're saying, okay, if this happens, we're looking for this. If this happens, then we're looking for this, right? And then if we lose this area, then what's next? Where could it go, right? Then you're looking at the point of control. So again, this is kind of some of the things that, people teach you with like SFPs, liquidity grabs, reestablishing the range, all of that sort of stuff. But right, something like this where you see, this is tough though. As you're like looking at price action, very important to like really like take it all in. What are you guys seeing right now? For me, let's go to the 8 hour. Make it a little more clear. Trend line. Let's Let's go ahead and turn that a permissive color. And then let's make this a non-permissive color. So when I do that, what am I doing? So when I say permissive, non-permissive, permissive is saying, okay, this is good. All right, this is, you know, bullish, support, whatever the case may be. It's a friendly color. It's a friendly color. This is not a friendly color. Red, you're dead. All right, so that is resistance. So that's how I kind of like to label things, right? But what are you seeing? You're actually seeing some strength, right? The price action is working its way up. Now, of course, just like Bitcoin, I was talking about that earlier. If it loses this trend, then things change a little bit. You look for the downside, right? You see that, and sometimes that move happens very quickly. These moves, I've been trading this a little bit more recently. I'm not a big breakout guy, but I've been having a lot of success with breakouts. It's especially on the lower time frames. So again, keep an eye on this, right? Because as you continue to retest this area at $2.36 or so, $2, what we say, up to 240, right? We get to do what we want here. It's putting pressure on that area. And I think about the analogy of, it's kind of like a tree. When somebody's like using an axe on a tree and you're just constantly hitting it, what happens? The tree falls eventually, right? Because you're breaking down, you know, the people that are sitting here with trades. So you're breaking them down, and then what happens? You get liquidity. So liquidity builds up. Right here. This is where liquidity is sitting right now. I can guarantee you liquidity is sitting right here for SUI. Because you're getting rejected. And the more you get rejected, the more people take leverage short positions. And the more people put stop losses up here. And that's why you see this progressive build up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to play out, but ascending triangles do have a penchant to play out to the upside. Part of that analysis, though, is taking into consideration, how did price action enter into that pattern? And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration when they're looking at patterns. And what I'll say is the price action entering into it, you know, from the top side would actually skew your statistical probability for this to play out a little bit more to the negative, right? It's a little bit less likely to play out. Why? Because what it's telling you is that there is a trend down and right. All right, so the trend is coming down and right? But we form a pattern here, right? Almost, I'd say like upside down, you know, almost like a bear flag of sorts. But really, you're getting an ascending triangle, and the price action came this way. So you're fighting the trend to take a position here. That's why I wait for the breakout. So you're now changing the structure, right? You're coming out, you're breaking out here, and you're looking for that retest as a confirmation that we're ready for that movement to the upside. So that is why, you know, I kind of wait. I don't take the play here. I wait for the break and the retest, more conservative. But do kind of look at that. And like, if you have a journal, take a journal. When you identify some of these setups, these patterns, something like this, you know, take a look at it and see, like, take a note, which way did it enter into the pattern? And start taking that into consideration. And, you know, do your own thing. I would just say my personal observation would say that the way or the direction that it entered into this pattern does have a say-so. So if we saw price action working its way up, and then it kind of hits a horizontal level of resistance, but then we see it working its way up again, kind of in this nature, I would definitely lean towards this, you know, continuing to the upside. So if, you know, I had something where price action was just kind of slowly working into this from this direction, you know, this is more bullish for me than it is right now. So again, here's your area to look at in the short term. Gave you a couple areas to look at if it does break down, for you to, you know, keep your eye on. Keep your eye on, see how they interact. And then you kind of go from there, man. So there you go. This is a drawn out 15-minute look at SUI. I'm seeing more dumpsy do. Don't say that, man. Don't say that. Let me see. What are we doing right now? Let's take a quick glance. Gander. How about that? Take a quick gander at Bitcoin. Look at that, man. It's trying to hold. It is trying to hold. There's no doubt about that. So this is where the liquidity was, Piper. This is where it was sitting at. We've pretty much took that. Yeah, and this is where I was sitting at this morning, man. You could see this building up, man. I was trying to get it out to you guys. I just saw that just looked ugly. You see this a lot, where you get these little like rollovers. But yeah, it wasn't getting any kind of like momentum off of 82.3s. Kind of scared me. All right, cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up to today. We definitely looked at a lot of the charts. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Let's go ahead and go to the full screen. Thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. Jesse Jax, what's up to you? Give you a little shout out before I get out of here. Trader Intuition, what's up, brother? Thank you for being here. Al Jr., my dude. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but I'm gonna get out of here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Trying to grow here, trying to get bigger. Much love to you guys. I got a subscription from Nick. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that as well. You guys are the best. FD, my dude. We'll catch up, brother. Hit me up. Love you guys a long time. Stay safe. Be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.